I've got Muhib, the happiness coach, with me, and thanks, Muhib, for agreeing to being on the spotlight for the Global Summit Events community. And the idea behind this is let's get to know you. So the first question is, who are you?
Who am I? Oh my God. The the one question I ask everybody. Um, Sometimes I say I'm nobody, and other times I just say I'm an imperfect human being, a fallible, imperfect human being living in an uncertain world. Um, I'm also kind, caring, loving, brave, um, growing, honest, um, living, living. The one thing that I love the most. And I ask a lot of people, are you alive or are you living? So yeah, that's basically who I am. Um, and I consistently try to find myself more and more uh, by simply losing myself. Um, I try to be mindful of not defining myself with what I do or how I do things, or how I used to do things. And so I'm, yeah, just constantly growing, learning, and in a constant process of death and rebirth.
So I wanted to ask a question about that, and I wanted to compliment you on actually getting to the core of who you are. Sometimes we get caught in these labels, and you actually talked about the values, the things that are difficult to explain, but the type of person that is at that core. So if when we go through life, we go through a shift of awareness, we go through a shift of experience. What what has been the transformation for you? What is different between who you are now and what you once were?
So I've always been very emotional. And emotional, by emotional, I mean I was very expressive, and majority of that was with a lot of energy. So it would come out in whatever form it came out with a lot of extreme, be it anger, be it happiness, be it be it joy, be it sadness. So it was always an extreme level of emotions. And so I am from Afghanistan and I'm born in war, and I've gone through a lot with my family, migrating, getting displaced, and leaving our home, moving into different countries, living among other nationalities where I was not as accepted as them because I was not from there. Um, so all those has always left a mark, because for everything um, which was coming easier for others, I would have to do maybe a lot more to to be recognized, to be seen, to be noticed, to achieve even simple things that was a luxury for others, but a need for me. So then a time came where I started to check myself that I think there is more to this. Why am I like how you ask why I'm doing what I'm doing? So I start questioning that. And then that was the journey of my self-awareness that started. And then I went through learning, teaching myself, and getting connected with a lot of other people, um, getting coaches, um, and then I found courses of Kane Ramsey, which was very impactful. And I realized from the very beginning that what he's teaching, if I'm trying to learn that to be a coach, um, I have to implement all that as a client first. So I I studied everything that he taught, not to become a coach, but to implement it on myself as a client. So I spent a lot of time going through everything he's given, literally, um, implementing, and did not move to the next chapter till it was clear. So yeah, things that could be done in 2 months, I spent about 7 months, 6 months on it to go through it. And then I met amazing people like yourself and a lot of other wonderful coaches. And I allowed myself to be a client, to understand myself better and be vulnerable, open up and talk about um, what I think, my thoughts, my behaviors, um, and understand myself better. So all that just continued to happen, and until today, it's happening. Um, Whenever I find something where it puts me off, I step back, and then I find someone, a coach, to go through it, to help me see what I can't see. And I think this will be continuous like this for the rest of my life.
So thank you for sharing that. And the idea is kind of twofold comes to mind. And one is you've with self-awareness, you kind of change the target from not only where you are seeking, but where you look for answers. So how has that changed for you? What are you seeking now? And where do you turn um within yourself? Where do you turn for understanding?
Okay, so for me, I continue to turn within, um, uh, and it has put me in a lot of peace with myself. Um, Even if I get, definitely I feel things, uh, and then when I feel it, I allow it to run its course. And I'm asked why happiness. What's with happiness? It's so shallow. Um, but then I say happiness is the most ignored emotion. We have never gone seen a therapist because we were too happy. But if we are sad, we are talking to ourselves, our parents, our spouse, our neighbors, and we pay a therapist to talk about it. When was the last time you paid someone to talk about your happiness? Never. And then the foundation of happiness is allowing unhappiness. So the problem is that we fight our emotions. as if the emotions are hurting us. But the emotions are only here to protect us. I need to let my cat out. He's making a lot of noise. Just give me a second. Hey. So sorry.
So it's interesting because one of the members was curious. Tell us about your cat. It was just kind of a funny comment. I said, what do you want to know about Muhib? What question should I ask? And the question was, ask him about his cat. So what can you tell us about your cat?
My cat's name is Kiki, a cat that was given to me by my niece in Afghanistan that is living with me in Malaysia right now. Is an orange naughty cat who disturbs me every night, going in and out of the room. Um, but he's also very loving whenever he's in the mood. uh, yeah. Um, he's been with me for 15 years.
That's wonderful. I have one as well, and it's like I think I understand that the people that have cats or the people that have dogs, they understand why it is that they have the animals. How can the GSE community support you in your mission?
Well, GSC community is a wonderful community with amazing, wonderful coaches and therapists and from other walks of life who come in with so much perspective about life. You know, you don't know what you don't know, and when those gatherings happen on Wednesdays, that I've missed quite a few in recent times, but whenever I'm there, there's always wonderful golden nuggets that I take away with me, and it helps me think or rethink my view towards things in in my life or towards the world and how everything is. So it has always been a great supportive community, very accessible. Can I can reach out to anyone, and you know, a lot of people are very easy to approach and ready to give a helping hand.
Oh, thank you for that. Um, so I've been doing some interviews with Roland Ong, and I know that you work with him, and have a lot of different endeavors that you've done with him. Um, Tell us about your work in Malaysia, the work with Change Your Algorithm, and the work that you're doing overall. What is the drive for you? What is the mission that you're trying to accomplish with that?
Okay. So I've always had something with suicide. And every time I've heard about a suicide case, it always somehow I felt the pain, some kind of pain, and it really put me in a very somber mood. Even if I didn't know that person, uh, I just think that these people can be helped. I've always had that in my mind. And um, so my mission overall in life, my purpose in life is to through my coaching and awareness that I'm spreading, I somehow make a bit of a dent in that percentage of annual suicide rate, which is huge. So for me, if I can be there for someone who is stressed out of their mind or anxious or depressed or in a space where with no clarity and the only thing they see is to end their life, and I can help and get them to change their mind, or see the better view of life, and understand that they are valued in a lot of other ways that they are not able to see. And they can actually be of a lot great value to themselves, to their communities, and to the world. um, I think my mission is complete. Even if it's just one person, um, I think I've done my job. So with change your algorithm in Malaysia with Roland, I do sometime once a month, sometime twice a month, sometime once every other month. I take classes where I talk about different topics regarding mental health, from emotional literacy to um, how to manage your stress, or what is anxiety, and what actually um, how so a lot of time sadness is interpreted um, a bit harshly as depression, and um, how we name our emotions wrong and do not give ourselves the chance, our body the chance to behave differently. Because when we call something out, like if I say I'm sad, or if I say I'm depressed, my the whole physiological response to that word would be different. And every time we get to become more literate emotionally, we become more emotionally intelligent and self-aware to manage ourselves emotionally and appear for ourselves and everybody else as a better human being.
Thank you for that. I'll have to share a story with you sometime, and especially with the work that I do, you can recognize that where someone's thoughts are and where their emotions are centered creates an environment for them, and if you can shift their awareness and their focus to something that'll make them smile or something to make them laugh, that transformation that comes over them it's substantial, and it's like and all of a sudden you're not even talking about the problem anymore. You're talking about something that they truly enjoy, they truly love or appreciate or just enjoy, and that transformation is enough, right? It's like it's reinforcing this idea. So we'll have to have that conversation later on. Um, for the spotlight here, what is one thought or one concept that someone can focus on moving forward? Um, and what would you like to give them to anchor towards? Where can they place their focus and have an impact?
I think one thing, I I think it is good for everybody to understand that happiness is a choice. You can choose you can choose happiness, and be a bit more mindful of what makes you happy in your life. From If you can find identify five things in your life, three things, if not five things, that makes you happy, that brings you to now. Because we are majority of the time either thinking about the past or about the future. With the 60 to 80,000 thoughts we have a day, 92% to 98% of the time we're either thinking about the past or about the future. If we can find something that can bring us to now, we give ourselves room to think more about what do we have now, and how can we be appreciative of all that. So it can be a cup of coffee, it can be a simple walk, it can be a call to a dear friend, it can be just reading a book. Just you choose to be happy and be mindful of the things that makes you happy, and keep them in the um, close distance, so you can just reach out to it every time, and that's it. If you can just have 5 of those in a day, every time you allow unhappiness while you are in that space. So you are sad, be sad. It's okay not to be okay, but understand where is this coming from. Your emotions are coming because you're having some kind of uncertain thoughts, either about the future, or you're stuck in some negative thoughts of the past. So when you bring all that in now, and you will be more appreciative of what you have rather than what you don't have.
I love that. There's so much you said there, and it, the first thing is about happiness being a choice. I remember I hit a milestone birthday, and it's like I realized that I wasn't happy, and I made the commitment and the choice, even though I didn't know what would make me happy. Right? I didn't know what would bring me happiness. I made the choice then and there that I was going to be happy the other half of my life. And so far I've moved in that direction, and it's a beautiful choice. The other thing that came to mind is, I think it was the Dalai Lama said, the secret to happiness is to find out what makes you happy and do a little more of that, and to find out and understand what makes you unhappy and do a little less of that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah.
So what would be one thing that you could, one bit of wisdom you can impart with us today?
Um, I think I'll just say this. I say this a lot. You don't know what you don't know till you know. And the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. Life is too large and huge than what we can see, what the experiences that we have. Our knowledge of everything will always be limited. So be open to different perspectives, be open to learning, be open to be wrong, and be open to learning. Allow yourself to make some mistakes. You can be wrong.
That's quite beautiful. Um, a lot of times I talk with people, we talk about this idea that, when life is concluded, there's never a discussion about how much property you have or how much money you have. It tends to be more focused on the regrets. People regret that they didn't have better connection with some people, that they didn't do the things that they wish they would have done. And so if you were to look back, right, if you were to kind of project into the future and think about your life, if you could be in this place of happiness and this place of purpose, what would you like people to think about you, about your life, about your legacy?
Hmm. Uh, I always say it doesn't matter. That's why when you asked me in the beginning who you are, and I said I'm nobody, because um, I will not be remembered for long. After a few generations, nobody will remember me. But if somebody does, I think they if they remember that I brought some smile and happiness in their life, or gave them something that helped them manage themselves and have a better life, um, that would be it. And if I've saved someone's life, thoughts of you know committing suicide, that would and they remember that, and that would be enough. But to be really honest, if nobody remembers me also, it's fine. What I do is what I do. It's not for me to for me for anybody to remember me. If they did, they'd be out of their kindness. If they don't, I'll still be thankful of the time we have spent together, or if we have crossed paths and um, you know, had some connection.
Well, that's lovely. The idea, is there anything that I haven't asked you about? Anything you would like to share with others about you, about an idea or anything? Is there anything that you would like to share?
There's a lot of pain going on around the world right now with what's happening in the uh, Middle East. Um, Almost coming to 300 days of madness. Um, Children, women, elderly, all kind of people have been killed um, for whatever reason. I hope um, peace, some sense can come into to people, and this madness can stop, and we all can live in peace in a better world. Um, and this there needs to be a ceasefire now.
Thank you for that. It's just what came to mind is, can we just have a can we have a moment of peace, right? A moment of peace for all those and hope and bring that into the world. Like do one small thing to really create that peace, not only within ourselves, but to try to share that with another.
Absolutely.
So
Uh,
go ahead.
no, we all humans should learn to appreciate each other and uh, live beside each other, you know, and this we're nothing. This whole earth is like nothing. And
Mm,
the other day I was watching a documentary, and someone was talking about how big the universe is, and what we can see in these galaxies. We are not even visible, you know. And in this big galaxy, our Earth is of no significance. And in this Earth, in 8 billion people, we are really nothing. And with all this, we are going mad like this over land and killing each other, and it just need to stop.
yeah. And to me, I think that if we can create peace within ourselves, if we can create love, if we can hear one another, this is the biggest thing, is if we can hear people with mutual respect, maybe that will be enough to to erode these walls that have been created. So, um, who would you like to have be
Would
the
like to have.
focus on the spotlight, right? So,
Yeah,
what
well, first I want to thank Gary for recommending me. Thank you, Gary. Much appreciated. Uh, my brother from Italy. uh, um, who I would like to see next. Um, so it was Gary, Roland, me. I think it's time we bring in a lady, right? And we have wonderful, amazing ladies in our mix. I would like to recommend someone. How about Tina?
okay.
Tina
And
Saxena.
and what would be a question? What would you like to know about Tina? What would be a question you would like to ask Tina?
Um, I would like to know um what gets her going to be doing what she's doing.
So I will reach out to her and thank you for that recommendation and thank you for the lovely question. I appreciate you, Muhib. You are
Thank
my
you.
friend, and I appreciate this journey that we're sharing on this on in this human experience. So thank you.
I appreciate you, Stephen. We'll catch up soon again.
Thank you for joining us in this member spotlight. You know, it's the members of our community that make us special, and I appreciate all of you for being here. Thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you on a member spotlight.